Since this New Delhi bomb blast is news in South Asia, everywhere in the world, but again, unfortunately, the Godi media is blaming Pakistan.
Without any investigation, a Kashmir link was established to it. It's not new to us. It has been in past also.
True.
In 1996, there were blasts in Delhi. And at that time, some 6 people from Kashmir, they were arrested. They were implicated. They were sent to life imprisonment.
This false narrative, where it stands now, of this New Delhi blast.
So this got clearly exposed. I don't think the world can buy this narrative.
Since April, there have been series of provocative statements. We will snatch Azad Kashmir. We will occupy. We will give this. So how important is Bihar election that anti-Pakistan rhetoric is visible everywhere in Indian social media or Indian media?
Bihar is very important because in the parliament elections, they lost the Uttar Pradesh.
They lost
Uttar Pradesh, which is their backbone. They think that the Hindu belt, the North India is a stronghold of BJP. They lost there in parliament elections.
How sensitive is this Geneva-based UN Human Rights Council about these all things, these all injustices which are committed? Because every year...
You see, the sensitiveness of human rights body or even all the international NGOs, I can tell you, they are very much concerned about the human rights situation in Kashmir.
How you see Islamabad blast?
Afghan foreign minister being on the Delhi soil, Indian soil, whereby he said that Pakistan is exporting terrorism, and he was responsible for that. That speaks volumes of that it was not his language, it was the language of Indians.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to program Insight in V News English. Dear viewers, important developments are taking place in South Asia. And when we say important, it is important but unfortunate as well. We are talking about bomb blast in Indian capital New Delhi, which took place on 10th of November, Monday. What is the context of this bomb blast? There are so many reports, the things which police is presenting before the press, before media. It is different. What is being investigated, it is different. Some of the media which is presenting some other information that contradicts what police is presenting before public or before media. This is quite significant. Most of the social media users on different social media platforms, mainly X, they term this New Delhi bomb blast as another false flag operation. Another social media user called this particularly bomb blast as an election false flag operation. Most unfortunate parts, exactly like that happened on 22nd of April in Pahalgam, even before start of investigation, the media and at the official level, Pakistan was unfortunately blamed for that. On the similar pattern, the Godi media is blaming Pakistan, is putting blame of this New Delhi bomb blast on Pakistan. Why it is so, why it has been planned, and whatever is the planning, whatever are the false facts and figures which are being given, including 2 different versions about the model and the make of the car. To discuss this all, and in our later conversation, we will also talk about how Muslim top professionals, doctors in Indian illegally occupied Kashmir are being implicated in false extremist charges. And the purpose is on the charges of extremism are supporting so-called militants. These top Kashmiri people holding top public government positions should be laid off, and instead Hindus should be inducted on their position. This is what one of the heinous plan of Modi regime, but that will be second part of our program. So to discuss this all, we are fortunate to have with us one of the finest Jammu and Kashmir analysts, particularly international affairs, South Asian affairs, Kashmir affairs, and chairman of Kashmir Institute of International Affairs, Mr. Altaf and Wani. Very warm welcome to Program Insight.
Thank you.
In We News English. Since this New Delhi bomb blast is news in South Asia, everywhere in the world, but again, unfortunately, the Godi media is blaming Pakistan. Whatever, as I said earlier, whatever police is saying, presenting information, there are contradictions, including the use of the vehicle. There are two different versions. That the version which police gave, later on through investigation, it was proved that was not that car. So what is actually, is this New Delhi bomb blast has some political connotations?
Thank you very much. When we see this bomb blast happening in New Delhi, we must see there's some things happening in Kashmir. The 3-4 days before what happened in Kashmir, there was a massive crackdown in Kashmir Valley at different places. And in the
few days before 10th of November.
3 days before 10th of November, there was a massive crackdown in Kashmir at different places. And one of these was in Naugam, Srinagar, where the police at that time said, we have exposed a module of terror, which is concerned with where Dr. Adil has been implicated in that later
exactly.
on. That later on, one more Dr. Muzammil in it has been the other link with it, and so on and so forth.
And the media reported a different Muzammil. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a Muzammil. Then media also, the India's spokesperson of the BJP, he related it to the Dr. Muzammil Ayub Thakur. He said the Muzammil Ayub Thakur module of terror has been exposed in Srinagar. But this is a concocted story in such a way that the vehicle which was used in this bomb blast, which was damaged, to eyewitness, it was a Maruti Suzuki car.
It was a Maruti
car.
According to
eyewitnesses. But according to police, later on came with that it was a Hyundai 20. Then again, when we see this was a post what happened over there, or post-event alteration to cover up these things. And suddenly, and the owner of the car, it was Nadeem firstly, and then it had it, in order to link it to the Kashmir, its owner was Tariq. It was that police version was it is Tariq from Pulwama, the brother of Umar, who is supposed to be one of the victims in the car, who was there, Dr. Umar. So we could see this, that it has happened 3 days before a story has been established by Jammu and Kashmir police. But the contradiction was Jammu and Kashmir police at that time said we have recovered some 230 kilograms of, 350 kilograms of explosive, as well as 2 AK-47 rifles. While as the Haryana police says that we have not recovered any, the rifles which were recovered, they were not AK-47 rifles. So there is another contradiction in that. And then Indian media, like the Times Now, they said 2,900 kilograms of explosive has been recovered.
It's a huge quantity.
It's a huge quantity, a truckload explosive. And these doctors were making these explosives over there in order to implicate Kashmiri doctors. It goes long that, as we know, as one of the social media users has rightly said, it is more a political stunt on behalf of the false flag operation, political false flag operation. As the second phase of the Bihar elections is on, it will be in 3-4 days that will be held. And before that, the Indian government, by one way or the other way, wanted to create such a situation so that they can get a chance to handwich their voters in a way to blame Pakistan or to create a Kashmir link in this such case. So a Kashmir link was created. I just had a tweet from one user that he has tweeted 2 hours before this incident. That what is happening in Delhi, is there going to be anything happening in Delhi? As I came with 12 students to whom I could find army and police everywhere near the Red Fort. And at that time, this blast was not there. They knew this blast will be there.
Oh, this is quite serious and important tweet.
This is a tweet from 2 hours before this.
Before the blast.
Before that. The man in Delhi who tweets it that what is going to happen in Delhi is something going to happen in Delhi. Because
so that clearly establishes that it was a false flag operation.
It was a false flag operation in a way that the links which have been created. You see, doctor, what they said, that poster in Srinagar has been posted
Which is yet to
somewhere.
appear.
The
Not visible exactly.
Poster, and how can a doctor come from Saharanpur and paste a poster in front of a CCTV camera in Srinagar, and he can be identified. This is Dr. Umar, Dr. Adil. He has done this so much. But when this investigation, without any investigation, a Kashmir link was established to it. It's not new to us. It has been in past also.
True.
In 1996, there were blasts in Delhi. And at that time, some 6 people from Kashmir, they were arrested. They were implicated. They were sent to life imprisonment. But later on, Delhi High Court acquitted them. These Abdur Rahman Shah was one of them. Then Fazli was another. And there was another guy, Ishfaq Ahmed. They were acquitted. And likely in 2001, when the parliament attack
took place,
we know how Afzal Guru was implicated in that, exactly. And then it was said that there is no evidence against him, but in order to satisfy the general conscience of the Indian public, we have to give them highest of the highest. Similarly,
and the whole country was close to the war as well. Exactly.
And Professor Abdur Rahman Gilani, another professor living in Delhi, he was also sentenced to death. But later, after 2 years imprisonment, he was acquitted by the Delhi High Court in that. In 2005, again, a series of blasts happened in Delhi. Again, as dozens of Kashmiris were rounded up, students were rounded up from different places. They were they spent at least 10 to 12 years in jail and later on found not guilty. So this has been a SOP of the Indian intelligence agencies, SOP of the Indian political elite in order to find whatever is happening to camouflage their security lapses or to camouflage what they are doing to find a Kashmir link to it and thereby link it to the Pakistan. So this blast is clearly, it indicates the way it happened, the way the eyewitnesses narrated the stories, and then what the official narrative came after that, that contradicts to each other. It clearly says that government script, which was written months before, is completely exposed in this case. And as Indian users themselves say, it's an election stunt by the Modi, by the Amit Shah and others in order to win the Bihar elections on this name, so that indications are there that in Bihar they have a tough contest with the Lalu Yadav and the alliance which there is, India alliance with this. So in order to cover up that, they have done this. So we could see that Indians are very much hell-bent to create a war hysteria in this region. It's not for the first time. Today I was listening to Modi. He, while addressing, he said, we are going to bring all those perpetrators to justice wherever they are. We are going to find out the links and all that, and pointing fingers to different things. And this is how they have jeopardized the peace of this region time and again. They did it in May. And they got the reward for that.
Exactly, they got a befitting response.
But this time they think they are now, I think, encouraged by their alliances. Some alliances they have created in Afghanistan and all that. They are encouraged by that.
Since you are, Wani Saab, sorry for interruption, you are expert in narrative building as well, and you are an analyst. So do you think India will be able to sell this false narrative before the world? Although, as you said, in April, their false narrative got massive defeat. The world did not buy that narrative that actually in Pahalgam, India was behind. So they failed in that narrative. The world believed on Pakistani narrative. So this false narrative, where it stands now of this New Delhi blast?
So this got clearly exposed. I don't think the world can buy this narrative because already some few days back, already India was served with on 5th of November, a communication by 12 special reports of the United Nations.
True.
Asking the India that after Pahalgam incident, what you did in Indian occupied Kashmir, how many people were arrested at that time, how many people were put behind the bars under UPA and PSA, and how many houses were demolished and 54 extrajudicial killings taken place in Indian occupied Kashmir. So that got exposed at that level also. And similarly, this one which happened yesterday, and the way Indian media is painting it, especially the Godi media, but the other channels in India I was looking at the Ravesh and others who were talking about it.
Exactly. Many online newspapers
online-
and media gave a different
Different
objective
this is
perspective.
totally different objective perspective of this, because this looks clearly why it is happening on such a date when there is an election, when this is going to benefit Modi. Why is going to happen it? Then can anybody do it to benefit Modi? It is Modi himself, or the Modi's party himself, or the people in intelligence themselves who have created this false flag operation in order to benefit the Indian government, the BJP government, or the BJP party in Bihar elections.
So the thing is, in Indian election, this Pakistani card is publicly used in the public, that Pakistan is wrong, Pakistan is doing everything. This usually BJP does in its election campaign. I would specifically how important are Bihar elections that in before first phase in April they staged this Pahalgam incident, then again this one, and then since April, there have been series of provocative statements. We will snatch Azad Kashmir, we will occupy, we will give this. So how important is Bihar election that anti-Pakistan rhetoric is visible everywhere in Indian social media or Indian media, and that is based on Indian political leaders' statements?
I'll tell you one thing. There were two incidents when India did not use this, BJP did not use Pakistan card or Kashmir card. It was first in the state elections in West Bengal. And they were defeated badly there because they did not use...
Extremist parties, BJP.
BJP was defeated badly because at that time they tried to sell their development mantra and their landing on the moon and other things. Similarly, after the parliament elections which took place in India, in the first phase which was held, in that phase, the BJP did not use the Pakistan rhetoric or the Kashmir rhetoric. And we could see, but when they saw the trends at that time, and again, then BJP, Modi himself came to Gujarat, came to Rajasthan, and the language Modi used against Pakistan, and that was the turning point in that.
Very threatening language.
It was threatening language at that time, all times. So, using that SOP, that was how Modi was able to again gain some power, because in the first two editions, they lost it altogether. But their motive was at that time, we could score more than 400 seats, but they could hardly manage 242 seats, and then they had to make a government with the allies with others.
True.
Now again, we could see Bihar is very important because in the parliament elections, they lost the Uttar Pradesh.
They lost Uttar
Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, which is their backbone. They think that the Hindu belt, the North India is a stronghold of BJP. They lost there in parliament elections. Now Bihar is the third largest state
and strategically important
for BJP and third largest state in India, and it has its implications will be definitely for the next elections, the assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, because they are going to take place very soon. So in order to gain this, they have tried everything in order to divide.
But all in vain.
No, you could see they did a survey, whatever is done to voter lists when their voter lists are again framed. Generally, it takes 1 to 2 years for an election commission to scrutinize the voter lists. But this scrutinization was done just in 1 month. And some 6.8 million voters were left out. And those, especially 24% of them were Muslims and other backward classes. And the gerrymandering of the assembly segments was done such a way that it could benefit the Modis, not the Yadavs and others. So they have already done what they could do pre-election, how they can win. But during the elections, they wanted to, in order to cement their vote bank, to convey their message and to play this Pakistan card again. This false flag operation was conducted in New Delhi.
So what is next? So far, as you very nicely elaborated, that they have failed to sell their narrative as independent, objective voices are still there within media, and there have been certain sane voices from within Indian Parliament which raised certain questions about how Indian government is selling its narrative on New Delhi blast. So far, investigation has been started, but no one has so far been implicated. But on the other hand, the connected to this is that you previously said that Kashmiri physicians and doctors are being implicated into the false cases, and they are being linked with so-called extremist militant organizations. Why this is so? And the purpose is to deprive these Kashmiri professionals, doctors, top professionals of their job, and instead Hindus should be appointed. And as you already referred, that how comes in Saharanpur a doctor travels only to Srinagar and to post a poster over there? Your thoughts?
See,
This speaks of what?
there are two main motives of the Indian government. One, as we talked about how they did, why to implicate the Kashmiri doctors. This is another thing now has come. The profession, the medical profession has been
Which
criminalized.
is sacred, which is so noble.
It is now being criminalized in
Exactly.
India
This
because there are lots of Kashmiri doctors, because there are no jobs in Kashmir for the doctors. Already, this Kashmir is heavily militarized place, so the people prefer to
Travel
work
out of-
outside Kashmir.
exactly.
So in Delhi hospitals, in Uttar Pradesh and different places, Kashmiri doctors are placed at highest places. The scientists are placed at highest place in different places. So this is in a way to give them this name as terrorists and try to so that they are vilified. And they can get away from there. They will come back to Kashmir and they will be jobless and all that, and they can install these Hindus. And the other hand, they have already made a plan of it in Kashmir already. Using a social media post, you lose your job. So you only when this Adil Dar is being just a suspect to them, or this Muzammil is suspect to them, but their lessons have been cancelled just because there is no investigation is yet held. They are not accountable, but their lessons have been cancelled. So what it speaks of? It speaks of two things. That one, all the Kashmiri professionals, Muslims, especially
Particularly
Muslim
doctors.
who are working in India, their profession is now under threat. And they will have to come back to Kashmir. And in Kashmir, they won't get
They are
any
being
job.
disgraced,
They are
exactly.
disgraced. And they are now, when there is an allegation, so you can't have any government job. That you in Kashmir, there is
By labeling them
by
as an
labeling them
extremist.
as terrorists, that by connecting them with Lashkar Toiba or other organizations like that, but making that this is a module of new terrorism model in Kashmir. So this is how they sell their narrative to their people on one hand. On the other hand, to deprive Kashmiri educated youth of their jobs, of their professions, and to make them to submission, because they thought that through all those military might, what they did, and through all those constitutional terrorism, what they did in occupied Kashmir, the people of Kashmir will give up this their demand for right self-determination, and they will come to submission, and they will treat India as their homeland, and so on and so forth. That's not happening. They could see that people of Kashmir are resisting one way or the other way. Although they have squeezed each and every place, they have choked each and every voice. But even then, Kashmiri voice is being
Suppressed.
seen. It is suppressed by them, but it is
At the
even
same
then,
time raising.
it is raised. It is seen everywhere. It is listened everywhere. It is listened through all the international human rights organizations are writing on that. So India gets exposed over there.
How sensitive is this Geneva-based UN Human Rights Council about these all things, these all injustices which are committed? Because every year, perhaps twice a year, you travel over there
Total.
and you interact with the UN human rights official, you organize seminars, talk shows, and give interviews. And we heard also that there are peaceful demonstrations as well. So, but that is different thing. How sensitive is the UN human rights body about it?
You see, the sensitiveness of human rights body, or even all the international NGOs, I can tell you, they are very much concerned about the human rights situation in Kashmir. What I talked about, the 5th of November, there's the communication from the 12 UN special rapporteurs. 12 special rapporteurs who are working
These
on...
rapporteurs have some influence,
Yes,
and their
these
reports
reports are-
create some effects.
Yes, they do. This is the only mechanism available in the UN whereby UN speaks. UN speaks through these special rapporteurs. These special rapporteurs have jointly written a comprehensive letter to the government of India that this much, what I earlier told you, that how they conducted how they are misusing these anti-terrorism laws in Kashmir. They have always called them to repeal this UAPA. They have called for repealing of Armed Forces Special Power Act. They have called for the repealing of Public Safety Act. Time and again they call. And they have again mentioned to the government of India that you are misusing this law in order to suppress the voice of dissent in Kashmir. Likewise, in the case in Delhi, is the same thing. You could see that the way the doctors, the engineers, the other things, already journalists are already walking on the razor's edge.
Exactly.
They are already walking on the razor's edge, the journalists in Kashmir. But now the other professionals who tried to leave Kashmir and live a peaceful life in different parts of India to do a job here, and they are now connected with the international terrorism to all this. All
Very,
these
very
things.
unfortunate.
This is how India wants to create a narrative around the globe that the Kashmir freedom struggle, it's not the indigenous Kashmir freedom struggle, it is linked to the international terrorism, to those organizations who have been banned by UN and so on and so forth. They want, because they don't digest how their narrative of the April, May was totally demolished at international level. Nobody took care of that narrative, what they said, and they want now to create a new sense of responsibility that maybe some people may align with them, because at that time neither any of the international organizations aligned with the Indian narrative, nor any political government aligned with the Indian narrative.
Another thing is, just while we are talking this afternoon, I mean the 11th of November, there is a blast in Islamabad. And since you very nicely elaborated the entire security scenario of South Asia from New Delhi to Afghanistan and then Pakistan. So this Islamabad bomb blast, many hours before this bomb blast, there have been social media accounts of Afghans that we are coming soon to Islamabad. Question is, Afghanistan is using proxy fitna al-Hindustan against Pakistan. So they are creating terrorism, they are creating, their indulge in subversive activities. How you see Islamabad blast and these tweets, as you nicely mentioned, the Indian social media account in which couple of hours before the security forces were already there, so that exposed that one. So this means there is Indian and Afghan hand in Islamabad blast.
I think there are no two opinions in that. We have seen, we remained engaged with the Afghan government, this current government, for a long time. Our defense
Recent
minister,
dialogue was in
our defense
Istanbul.
minister in Qatar, then in Istanbul, the people tried to convince them that they should not give the sanctuaries to the Taliban and these Pakistani Taliban who are there, who are creating this disturbance in Pakistan, destabilizing the security of Pakistan and creating terror in Pakistan. But we could not see any response from the Afghan government. Instead, Afghan foreign minister, being on the Delhi soil, Indian soil, whereby he said that Pakistan is exporting terrorism, and he was responsible for that. That speaks volumes of that it was not his language, it was the language of Indians. That Indians wanted him to say, and he said that.
He said that.
And likewise, we could see that all the friends around the globe, including big powers, are asking the Afghanistan that they should refrain from supporting these TTP in Pakistan, or these the Indian-based whoever they are, Fitna al-Khawarij and Fitna al-Hind, who are creating destabilization in Pakistan. But we could see Afghan government is not moving an inch. We could see from their leaders that we are ready. If Pakistan is doing anything like that, we will be ready. And this is how it speaks that how this there is a very deep connection between the current Afghan government, which is there, and the TTP and India. India was already supporting the TTP.
True.
Before that, Ghani government was
Militarily,
there.
Ashraf Ghani government was supporting.
Everything was there. Ashraf Ghani government was there. Everything was there. But we hoped that since Taliban has come now, they will now stop them from doing so. But the Taliban government, this government, on one hand, it seeks support from everyone to rule the Afghanistan, but on the other hand, it doesn't listen to anybody. And I fear that it might, what was the Taliban 1, I think Taliban 2 will meet the same fate if the things remain so.
So if they continue to behave like this, like an Indian proxy, so Pakistan will not compromise on its security of state and security of the people.
That has been made clear by our defense minister time and again, and our field marshal has time and again said about it that there will be no compromise with anybody threatening the peace and security of Pakistan.
So there is another incident. These militants,
Wani, they tried to do the same thing what they did at the APC. Peshawar, what they did Peshawar, they're trying to do the same thing. But I think that at Pakistan level, I would say all political parties of Pakistan, they should and they must come together to support the security forces of Pakistan in order to defeat these nefarious designs of India, because it is Pakistan, it is because of Pakistan somebody is chief minister, somebody is prime minister, somebody is anything. It's because of Pakistan. So I think the onus lies now.
And in that context, the remarks of the KP chief ministers were very unfortunate.
I think it was unfortunate that he is a young man. I think he will learn how to be in an office when you are in office.
As a mature politician.
Behave as a chief minister of his province, because he has the laws, he has the most of the responsibilities lie on his shoulders.
True.
Because he belongs to that region. He has to do everything. There should be no negotiation now. There is no negotiation phase with these. TTP has ended. There is all we have to be one in order to nip the evil in the bud.
Lastly, I would like to, what options are available with Pakistan, keeping in view these grave challenges on the western border? As you said, military leadership has already made it clear that there will be no compromise. There are threats from India, there are threats from Afghanistan. These terrorists are bent upon creating havoc, law and order situation. So what options are available with Pakistan? Will Pakistan be showing the hard face?
I think Pakistan's poster has been to show the hard face. The poster has been shown by the military leadership. There is no soft fate at this time, because India tried to take advantage of this, because our relations with Afghanistan, they are trying to take the advantage of it. Though already their bases were there, they were doing what spoilers they had in their hands. They tried to use them, but currently they are using this Afghan government and their offices for it. So I think our government, I'm very much pretty sure the way our military leadership has shown their resolve, that they are capable of dealing with the West and the East, North and the South. They can do anything, and I pray and hope they will do it, and there should be very hard response to all these acts which destabilize the peace and stability of Pakistan.
Keeping in view this Afghan Taliban attitude and the Delhi's establishment attitude towards peace and security of South Asia, in one sentence, how you see the future of peace, security and stability of South Asia and the role of Pakistan?
Unfortunately, we have two different ideologies, but lining to the same goal. On one hand, we have the Taliban. On the other hand, we have the RSS. The true extremes are on both sides,
RSS,
who are not ready to listen to anything. But in our case, they have joined the hands this time. Now the Muslims of Afghanistan, the people of Afghanistan who have given the sacrifices for Islam, for their nationhood, they have suffered so much. They should think of this regime, how this regime is dealing with them. Those people who never recognized the Taliban, who never supported them, who always supported their rivals at each and every place how they could back them. This
And
is
who
now
will
at
defeat
Afghan.
this RSS and TTP? Who will defeat them? Who will crush them? Who will eliminate them?
This is
People of Pakistan?
This is the people of Pakistan united,
People of Kashmir?
people of India, people of India. I'm sure that now the people of India are very much. Maybe they will. They
are
have
fed
shown.
up. No.
They are shown their resolve that no more this religious card by BJP. So I think the people of Pakistan have already shown their resolve in May, April, and now it lies with the people of Afghanistan to show to the Taliban either the door or the right path.
Thank you so much, Mr. Altaf Wani. Not only you spoke about Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the latest situation, how innocent and purely professional doctors are being implicated into the false charges, or they are being linked with the so-called militant organization. The entire situation, peaceful situation, is being vitiated in Indian illegally occupied Kashmir from New Delhi to Afghanistan, and the linkages of this RSS and TTP behind Islamabad blast. Despite your very busy schedule, you spared time and participated in our program. We are so grateful. And dear viewers, till our next program, goodbye and Khuda Hafiz.
Pleasure, sir.